Dear students, in this video we are going to see the working of nuclear power plant. The cheap and abundant power is essential to the modern world in the coming years. The rapid increase in industry and the living standards of people creates pressure on conventional sources of power, that is coal, oil and gas. It is now obvious that these sources will soon be unable to meet the increasing demands of the world. The adoption of nuclear energy for the generation of power is inevitable to the nations where other sources of generation are inadequate. One of the outstanding facts about the nuclear power is a large amount of energy that can be released from a small mass of active material. The complete fission of 1 kilogram of uranium contains energy equivalent to 3100 tons of coal or 1700 tons of oil. The nuclear power is not only available in abundance, but it is cheaper than the power generated by conventional sources. Okay, let us see what are the various fuels used in nuclear power plant. 1. Natural uranium. 2. Enriched uranium. 3. Thorium. 4. Plutonium. 5. Uranium oxide. And 6. Uranium carbide. Before discussing about the construction and working of nuclear power plant, let us discuss what is nuclear fission and what is nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion and nuclear fission are different two types of reactions that release energy due to the presence of high strength nuclear bonds between particles found within the nucleus. In fission, an atomic is split into two or more smaller lighter atoms. In fusion, two or more smaller atoms fuse together, creating a large, heavier atom. The nuclear fusion can be defined as the reaction in which energy is released by means of combining two or more nuclei and forming a new element with a higher atomic number. The energy released in fusion is related to E, which is equal to mc square, that is Einstein's energy mass equation. The nuclear fission can be defined as the reaction in which energy is released by means of splitting a massive nucleus into photons in the form of gamma rays, free neutrons and other subatomic particles. Okay, let us see what are the components associated with the nuclear power plant. So this is the simple construction of nuclear power plant. It consists of a nuclear reactor. So nuclear reactor, coolant circulating pump, coolant circulating this is the thing, heat exchanger, feed pump, condenser, turbine, generator. So these are the various components associated with it. The heat is generated in a reactor by the fission reaction. The coolant in the primary circuit gets heated by absorbing the heat and enters into the heat exchanger. In a heat exchanger, the feed water is heated and converted into steam by hot coolant by means of heat transfer. The steam from the heat exchanger enters the turbine and the turbine is connected to the generator, which generates power. The steam after doing the work enters into the condenser and converted into water, which is pumped again to the heat exchanger by the feed pump. The hot coolant gets cooled in heat exchanger is recirculated into the reactor by a coolant circulating pump. So the cycle is repeated for continuous generation of power. The generated power is supplied to the distribution line for consumer as shown in the line diagram. So this is the nuclear working of nuclear power plant, and some advantages of this power plant is less fuel is required compared to any other type of power plant, and it requires less space than thermal power plant. The size compact in size and simple in maintenance. Less water is required. Transportation cost of the fuel is less, and the cost of erection is also less. So as the requirement of fuel is less, fuel handling is negligible. So this question may be asked in fourth unit of PCM subject in Anna University examinations. In that case, you have to draw the diagram of this nuclear power plant, working of nuclear power plant, and this is sufficient. You don't need to draw the layout of nuclear power plant. This question may be asked in 13 marks. In that case, you have to draw the diagram, write the construction and working, and also advantages and disadvantages.